Hello, people of the internet. Today, I thought I'd try something different and actually kind of talk about roller coasters this video instead of kind of showing you what I made because, I'm kind of burned out from Planco and I do really want to upload. So, yeah, this is what I'm going to be uploading. But, yeah, just to let you know, this isn't the most, factual thing. I'm just making this because I just want to talk about roller coasters. I'm not going to go too in depth with everything. This is just going to be how I would change the rides. It's not going to be a complete makeover, but some areas that are getting changed is what I would personally put in there. So to start off, we have the Gotham area with Batman and Harley Quinn Spinsanity. I'm going to start with this area especially because recently I went to Six Flags because I heard they were closing down Batman for the rest of the year. I'm not sure if that's 100%, but it sounds legit, meaning they're doing something to the ride, which it could be either tearing it down or deconstructing it, or maybe revamping the ride or painting it. It's Six Flags. You never know what they'll do. And I came up with a few ideas what I could do with this land if they do actually remove Batman. And my first thought would to be a mock ride mini hypercoaster, specifically with a chain lift, because I think two launch coasters right beside each other would just be a facepalm, in all honesty. So I'd say a ride like DC Rivals, but with more inversions, so it kind of fills in that spot for Batman. Since it's a B&M invert, which focuses on inversions, and it kind of fills that spot, if that makes sense. Now, for moving on to the Harley Spinsanity area, I feel like because it's confirmed they're deconstructing this, it's not confirmed. It hasn't been open. JB Thrills, he's a Six Flags Over Texas coaster enthusiast. He knows a lot about the park, and he said it's one of the potential rides that could be going away. And again, if they were to tear this ride down, I feel like you would simply put a custom layout, compact RMC Raptor, just because it's from Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, which was a big hit in my opinion. I mean, I liked it. I'm sure others did. It's just a fun ride, and it's just I can't really describe it with words. It's just a ride that I love, and I think putting an RMC Raptor here would be ultimate, just because it's a good ride. You can't go wrong with the RMC Raptor unless I'm hearing some bad things about Jersey Devils, so it's kind of that. But yeah, I'd put a RMC Raptor to replace Harley Quinn Spinsanity, because that's one more roller coaster to the list of rides at Six Flags Over Texas. And you also you kind of have another intense ride. It can be like the 1-2 punch with Freeze and RMC Raptor. But yeah, that's kind of what I would do with that area. So it's kind of on to the Judge Roy Scream area. I would want to tear this ride down. This is one of the few rides in the park where I just don't like it, because this side of the park, Judge Roy Scream is supposed to be a scenic wooden coaster, but every time I ride this ride, it's not fun. No wonder every time I go, this ride is practically a walk on, unless it's a really crowded day. So I really want to bring this area back alive, and I had some options, but at the end I thought about putting in a GCI, because GCIs are intense, and GCI's been around for some time, so maybe, just maybe, they could try and work with this type of area to give us a intense ride. And I said more than one option, which we could go with Gravity Group, because you have another GCI, Texas Stingray at Six Flags, no, not Six Flags, SeaWorld San Antonio. So, it's just like two GCIs. I'm like, I don't know if that would work. But, then again, though, there's another Gravity Group coaster in Texas, or two others. So, I really don't know. But I'm leaning more on GCI just because it's more intense, it's more appealing. I feel like people will like it more compared to a Gravity Group. Another change I would definitely make is to lavibora, which, as a semi-coaster enthusiast for Six Flags Over Texas, I can safely say this is one of my least favorite rides in the park. I would be crying tears of joy if I heard they were deconstructing this ride, because I really don't like it at all. And I had an idea, which I heard JB Thrills talk about, which it was to replace this ride with a family version of West Coast Racers, which is a ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's a dueling coaster. And yeah, my idea was to make it like that, except more family based, meaning no inversions, more airtime, helixes, stuff like that. And I think it would turn out really, really cool in my opinion, just because it has a. And you gotta remember, it has a lot better capacity compared to lavibora, because like 3 riders every train, that's not going anywhere. So the next and one of the final areas, it's that stadium near Shockwave, because let's be honest, it at some point it's gonna get demolished and they're gonna put a ride here. But I was having a tough time thinking of what they should really put here, because you could only put so much in an area surrounded by an RMC and an old Schwarzkopf coaster that has some pretty good G's and good airtime. So, I mean, I thought more about making this like a family plaza area or whatnot. But if I had to put a ride here, I'd probably put a Vekoma Bermuda Blitz, just because it is such a beautiful ride. And while yeah, it would be in a very awkward position, I still feel like that would be another coaster they add. I mean, you can, in the comments, you can give me your suggestions of what rides you think you would want to put here, because I am still struggling to think if even a Bermuda Blitz would fit here. Well, not even fit, if it would work here, just because of the position of it. But that's what I would put in that area personally. So this is kind of just a bonus, but something happened in Mr. Freeze, something caught on fire, and the ride's closed right now. And I got the most random idea, thinking of what would happen if they just randomly tore down Mr. Freeze. And yeah, I would be sad, but this could be a good thing in a way, because like I said earlier, you take the Mog Rides Hyper, the mini hyper, you make it close to a mini hyper, so it kind of takes up that plot of land, making it a good ride. And in that area I said near the stadium, instead of putting a Bermuda Blitz, I'd want them to put SNS launch coaster, hydraulic launch coaster, since those can be fun. It kind of fills in that spot for Mr. Freeze, since it's a short and intense launch coaster. It doesn't have to be a clone of Max Force, but like similar to Max Force, short, intense, fun, but it doesn't have to be a record breaker, obviously. But that's just what I'd put there. You also have the rodeo area of the park, which I didn't bring up only because I feel like they're just gonna turn that area into like a restaurant, since with the new CEO, he plans to improve the culinary. I feel like they put like a restaurant or some sort of eating place here instead of a flat ride. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Peace.